Hello and good day. Today I'm going to be discussing to you the different kinds of Mastermind builds that can work for the thugs. The main thing you want to work on with thugs is to make sure you have decent amount of pets and you have a good cooldown reduction on gang war. Your thugs are very powerful and specialize in mainly range. They're favored by most people and are arguably one of the most powerful builds in the entire Mastermind out of all the Masterminds. You will want to focus on call thugs, equip thugs, call enforcer, gang war, call bruiser, and upgrade equipment. Reason being, you don't want to take any of your range attacks. It's great to have the extra damage, but it can interfere with your pets, and there's no point when they're doing all the work for you. But the secondary power set is where it gets interesting. There have been many theories that it can be taken. If you are free, I recommend you taking Storm Summoning is nice. You can use traps. Pain Domination is always good. And Force Field. Dark Miasma is great, but it doesn't sync well, and the Dark Servant has a much longer cooldown than its duration. That's the main reason I'll tell you. The Force Fields are also great, but the problem comes from the fact of you are using it, and they're just your pets will run in there and use a lot of melee attacks. And a lot of force fields use repulsion. Therefore, when they're all coming in, when they're all going after them, they're not going to be inside your bubble so you can protect them. And if they come close, you're going to have your repulsion field up, so that way you knock them away and your pets just have to keep chasing them. This is why force field does not normally work well with most Masterminds. Now, Pain Domination, on the other hand, is the ultimate healing build. It cannot be competed against. It is amazing, and if you really want to solo and have a good, solid build, and you don't want to have lots of pets, Pain Domination is the way to go. I do not, and I repeat, do not recommend taking all of the things, because the amount of buffs that it gains is great to some extent, but the problem is they're temporary, and the endurance cost will kill you. It is completely ridiculous on how much this stuff will cost you. Now, if you want to go another way with, we'll just take Poison for example. Poison's great. The debuffs can protect you and it can slow them down. It's great for debuffs. You can get a couple of heals, a res, and there's like a poison trap. Problem with the poison and noxious trap is they have delays from when they go off, and the recharge is annoying. Now the poison trap isn't that bad, but when you look at the one for noxious gas, that's 5 times as long at 300 seconds. It's really going to kill you. So it's good to get the one little heal and some of the little debuffs, but at the end it's not that good. Sonic Resonance is nice, I will admit. Problem comes from the fact that the powers are mostly just repulsion. There's a lot of debuffs. It's like force fields, but it doesn't give you as much protection. That's also more elemental, and it gives you more defenses to a lot more things than the force fields, but it's also a lot less at the same time. So you got to trade off. Do you want better defenses, or do you want smaller defenses for a lot of things? Storm Summoning. I'm going to say right now, this is probably my best to pair with controllers and Mastermind. Only because of the solemn fact of you can get extra pets such as the Tornado and Lightning Storm. These two abilities are favored by most of the Masterminds and controllers. The problem comes from the fact of once you have them, you don't know what to take until you get up to those. The Hurricane's nice, but you won't be running in there and trying to fight. You're supposed to stay out of combat. Freezing Rain's nice, it keeps them knocked down, and the duration matches is half as long as the recharge. And it's powerful. Steamy Mist, a stealth from Storm Summoning, is not reliable. Along with Snowstorm. It is not good, but it's only good for slows, but your pets are going to be going in anyways, not you. And O2 Boost, I'm going to say right now, is really good because it's heal and it's a buff, and it's got a short cooldown. It's a super short cooldown. There's no reason not to take it. Gale can be an annoyance, but it can also be your best friend using Storm Summoning, because the knockback on it makes up for the fact that you can get away and you will not be hurt. However, most foes will use ranged attacks, but this is also a good form of interrupt. And it is a cone effect with an arc of 80 degrees. So you can hit practically everything in front of you. Thermal Radiation. It is the best for buffs and heals, only because it uses both. You get like the shields as you would from force fields, and you get some heals that you would from using pain dominations. It's not as good as either one of them, but it comes down to the fact that you can have both. You can have both, and Power of the Phoenix, in case you're running with allies, which I know some people like here will, is great because not only is it an res, it does an AoE damage up to 300 damage, and your allies are protected from XP debt for 90 seconds. So that way, once you look at it, they have 90 seconds. If they die again, they're not going to suffer from any XP lost. So there's almost no point in not taking this tree if you want to be good in groups. Now once we look at time manipulation. Time manipulation is great, but it's mostly debuffs and it's just a lot of debuffs. It's got some nice little heals every then and there. But at the end of the day, as if you're subscribed, I recommend taking it over most of the other ones. But at the same time, it's a lot of debuffs that you need to worry about. Now, if you look at traps, traps is arguably best to be paired with robotics, thugs, and it's all to be paired with both thugs and robotics, because it goes well with them, and it does good. It's all around, but it's got no debuffs practically, and the force field's okay. It's the best of all worlds. It gets AoEs, it gets defense, it gets stuns, it gets chokes, it gets a little heal. Well, it's a regeneration rate increase. And if you like really work off of these, I've seen some amazing trap users in the game. Trick Arrow, I highly do not recommend this tree because of the solemn fact that if you look at Trick Arrow and look at its arrow moves, it does not sync well with anything at all. It is truly just the stupidest build you could take because it lacks any support from. It lacks the support of your pets. There's like practically no good debuffs, and it is only good for the oil slick arrow if you use a fire arrow. So you have to use you'd have to have a fire using Mastermind pet, which would the only one that we can use it would be the mercenaries with the commander's AoE, or the demon summoning and their demons use fire, or the ninjas who the Oni can use AoE fire moves. That's the only way this tree is any good. I highly recommend you staying away from it. For as far as your your secondary pools, I don't recommend any travel power is good. I do recommend you picking up medicine, the medicine abilities, and leadership if you can. If you do not wish, do not. But it is very helpful. Thank you for your time and have a good day.